Absolutely. So, Sego, and good afternoon, everyone. I hope that all of you are continuing to do well during this COVID-19 pandemic. I just want to say Yawa, Josh, and CKON again for making time for me to update the community today. I also want to mention that we are streaming on our MCA Facebook page, and this is being recorded to share later on. However, during our live show, questions will only be answered through calling the CKON 97.3 radio station by phoning 613-575-2101. It now has been 6 weeks since we declared the state of emergency for Akwesasne. I again want to acknowledge that this has been a very difficult time for all of us. And on behalf of the Mohawk Council of Akwesasne, I want to say Yawagoa to everyone who has been taking the precautions against the spread of COVID-19 seriously and staying at home. I know staying at home has not been easy, and if you find yourself needing to speak to someone, I do want to remind you that the MCA has a 24-hour mental health support line that can be reached at 1-844-244-1060. And one of our local mental health workers will be there to take your call. As well, you can call this number and ask for a scheduled time if that's a bit more convenient to you. For today's discussion, I want to provide an update on the border ID protocol at U.S. Customs, as well as talk about the MCA's new mobile testing unit, and I'm going to share some information on the Canada Emergency Relief Benefit, also known as the CERB. So as I previously reported, the Mohawk Council of Akwesasne participates in weekly calls with both U.S. Customs and the CBSA, along with representatives of the Sandwich Mohawk Tribe and the Mohawk Nation Council of Chiefs. And during last week's call, U.S. Customs updated us that they recently installed cameras at the booth and monitors in each primary lane. And that's to reduce the potential risk of the spread of the COVID-19 exposure to the community and to the officers. So the camera allows for the driver to hold your identification card up one at a time in front of the camera while the officer views the information on the monitor inside the booth. This way that the officer never handles your identification card. So when you pull up to the primary inspection booth, be sure to hold up your identification out of your vehicle window towards the camera. And on the first lane at the U.S. Customs, it's a white dome on the side of the building. You'll need to hold the ID there until the officer is finished viewing the information, who would then type the information into the computer. The intention of this is so that it is contactless, and that the officer can see your information on the card and plug it into the computer. This is to keep everyone safe and reduce the risks of exposure for you and the officer. So last we announced on April 20th that the MCA had opened a mobile COVID-19 testing unit. Our department received approval from the Eastern Ontario Health Unit, which is also the EOHU, to operate our unit as a drive-through center. And the drive-through center is through appointments only, which are scheduled through the community health program. Our testing unit operates this way to limit the amount of contact time between you and the health worker and the community member. Testing right now is limited to the community members who reside under the jurisdiction of the MCA and have an Ontario or Quebec health card and an Akwesasne status card. At the beginning of this pandemic, the community health program was doing assessments over the phone, and anyone who was screened in for a testing was referred to a testing facility off the territory. And at that time, it took about 5 to 10 days to get the test results. Now that we are offering our own testing through our mobile unit, our tests are coded as belonging to a priority group, and this enables us to get our test results quicker. And the turnaround is between 24 and 48 hours generally thus far. Again, for the COVID-19 testing, the way it works is that you must have any symptoms of fever of 37.8 Celsius or 100.4 Fahrenheit or higher. Any new or worsening symptoms, including cough, shortness of breath, sore throat, runny nose, or sneezing, nasal congestion, hoarse voice, difficulty swallowing, the loss of the ability to smell or taste, nausea, vomiting, or diarrhea, and pneumonia. These are all pneumonia-like symptoms. You should call the community health program if you're experiencing any of these symptoms at 613-575-2341, extension 3220. Essentially, any of the MCA numbers works as well. Ask to speak to a nurse at the community health program, and they'll determine whether or not you meet the criteria for testing. If you meet the criteria, the nurse will provide you with the location of the unit, the date and time for the appointment. And when you arrive for your scheduled time, you remain in your vehicle and call the number that's posted outside of at the site. Let them know that you arrived, and a nurse will come out to you and administer the test. Our community health nurses will monitor all individuals who have been tested and will conduct any follow-ups required, including contact tracing. Currently, the MCA does not have a health data sharing agreement with Franklin County, and therefore we're unable to conduct contact tracing for residents who reside under the St. Mohawk Tribe's jurisdiction. The other item that I wanted to touch upon was the Canada Emergency Relief Benefits, also known as the CERB. And you may have heard about this benefit being provided by the Government of Canada, and wondering if you are eligible to receive this benefit. So for clarification, the CERB provides a benefit of $2,000 every 4 weeks up to a maximum of 16 weeks for eligible workers who have lost their income due to the COVID-19 pandemic. In order to be considered eligible, you must meet the following criteria: is reside in Canada and be at least 15 years old, have stopped working because of COVID-19, or be eligible for employment insurance, which is also EI benefits, known as EI benefits, and have not voluntarily quit your job. And you have had to have had an income of $5,000 in 2009 or in the last 12 months prior to you applying. In addition, CERB is also available for workers who have recently exhausted their EI benefits and are unable to find a job due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. And it's also available for seasonal workers who have exhausted their EI benefits and are unable to undertake their regular seasonal work due to COVID-19. I want to note that it's important to know that the CERB benefit is a non-taxable benefit for First Nations people who have Indian status, whose regular income is non-taxable. So which means it was not, if you're from your job that you've been laid off of or lost, was non-taxable, then the CERB benefits will be non-taxable to you. If you feel that based on this criteria, you can apply for the CERB online or by phone. There is further information available on our MCA website, including our Facebook page that also has the phone number for to be able to call or receive additional information. For assistance with applying for CERB as well, and you may have questions about it, Dan Garrow is available, the employment officer with the Akwesasne Career and Employment Support Services, ACCESS, which is formerly known as the Akwesasne Area Management Board. Dan is available for Akwesasne community members Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9 a.m. Until 11 a.m. And you have to phone ahead and make an appointment at 613-575-2626. It's important to know that for anyone who is receiving welfare support or disability benefits, either through the Mohawk Council of Akwesasne Community Support Program or Ontario Works, you should not be applying for the CERB benefits. As mentioned, if it's for workers who have lost their income due to COVID-19, Anyone who may have mistakenly applied for CERB or were provided a CERB benefit, you need to inform your caseworker immediately in order to quickly mitigate any negative consequence of such a mistake. We want to ensure that our community members are not penalized through the withholdings of other financial benefits in the future as a result of not addressing this uninformed decision that may have been made by mistake. So in addition, those who are receiving Canada Pension, Old Age Security, or the Guaranteed Income Supplement, the GIS, should also not be applying for the CERB. So the CERB is designed for persons that were working and who have lost their job as a result of the COVID-19. It's very important. The government has outlined that if persons are getting these benefits now and may not have been entitled to them, they will be required to pay that back. It may not be this year, but next year upon filing taxes, there may be a problem. And as well, there may have negative consequence on other benefits that the persons may be getting now, could receive reductions or be penalized and not receive them at all next year. So it's really important that people who are eligible should be applying. People who are not eligible should not be applying. It will create issues later on. Also, I want to take an opportunity to provide information again on our Emergency Operations Center, the EOC, which is operating here at the MCA from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. from Monday to Friday. And you can contact the EOC by calling 613-575-5005 or 613-575-2331, or also available by email at eoc@akwesasne.ca. Again, please keep this information handy. The Facebook page also has the EOC contact information available for you. That is everything that I want to cover, Josh, this afternoon. I will take questions either from you or some of our listeners. Again, they must be called into CKON and not through our Facebook page.
Yeah, we do have one question. Can you please clarify the burn ban? People think they can burn twigs and sticks or and such, or is it okay to have a small fire, pit fire?
Yeah, so we did receive clarification today. We had been receiving a few calls with relation to the burn ban. As of right now, large fires are not permitted. We received, we contacted the Hogansburg Volunteer Fire Department, and small fires within pits, within devices that can control the flames is permitted.
Okay, that's fantastic. We do have another question. Will testing be done to determine if there are asymptomatic people in Akwesasne?
As of currently right now, no testing other than individuals who meet the criteria will be done. If there's a need to expand that later on, that may be done, but as of right now, it's only the individuals who meet the criteria that I've outlined will be tested.
All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us, and your closing words.
Okay. Well, if there are no other questions from the community, I can wrap up now. I do again want to say thank you to CKON for giving me the opportunity to provide an update. It's been these last 6 weeks have been very trying for everyone. I can't repeat enough that we must all continue to do our part and continue to social distance, and we must exercise patience. I know this is not easy for us, and many of us are feeling the pressure. We need to continue to take this one day at a time and continue to support one another. As a community, we're doing well in our responses to this pandemic, but we can all continue to do more and do our part. We can't stop exercising the protective and preventative measures that we've been undertaking. I want to avoid a second wave of COVID-19, which could come back even worse. And when the MCA decides to reopen, we will be doing so on a gradual basis. This is to ensure that precautions are all in place for the safety of our employees and all of the community in which we serve. So Josh, I want to thank you again for the opportunity this afternoon. A big yamagoa to our healthcare workers, our essential workers who are working hard to keep our community safe, and yamagoa to all of our community members who continue to exercise patience and doing their part. And I know this is challenging, but I'm certain that as a community, we will get through this, and thank you for the opportunity.
Yes, thank you for joining us and updating, and thanks to everybody who's working real hard out there trying to make sure everyone stays safe and we get all through this. So it's fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us.